Now when I get to the top lashes, it's okay to use a little more product. I can actually see that buildup here. You still don't want a heavy application. It is extremely crucial that your client keeps their eyes shut the entire time, as this product is definitely dangerous for the eyes. It's safe if done right, but if this product were to get into the eyes, it could be very harmful. Very important to get into the inner corners. There's very small, fine baby lashes in there. We want to make sure they get nice and dark as well. I'm going to start my time now. 10 minutes the lash tint is going to stay on. I'm going to come over and see if I can detail. As it starts to oxidize, you can see if there's anywhere you want to get a little bit closer to the skin. When I'm working on getting closer to the skin, I hold very gently on the upper lid so I can see all of those lashes and I have nice control of them. I set down close to the lash line and then just lightly move my brush toward the lash line, hoping to kind of spread that product just a little bit. Make sure you get those fine lashes in there. I'm going to come back over and detail the second eye here. Can see that oxidizing. Now our lash tint product is the same product line and the same tubes and developer. It's within the intensive line as we use for our brow tint as well. We have the 3 volume and the 6 volume, and the difference is how much depth we want, how much coverage we want. Somebody also could have resistant hairs and not wanting to take in that color quite the same, and so maybe they don't have gray hair, but their hair tends to be more resistant to the tint, and then we could use the 6 volume as well. Otherwise, 3 is a pretty typical tint developer for lashes and brows. With our brows, there are quite a few different colors that we can use, but for lashes, we typically always do the deep black. There's also a blue black. There's a graphite, which is very dark as well. Most individuals, no matter what their starting point is, they prefer to have deep black for their lashes. Now, being the same product line that we use for our brows and for our lashes, there's a different developing time. Lashes are going to be 10 minutes and we'll take it off. We don't need to process longer than that, and typically most individuals need to process that full amount of time. When we're working on the brows, we'll start on one brow and we'll process 3 minutes before we take it off. So if you're able to apply to one brow and then come to the second, time yourself at the end of that first one, apply to your second, check the time, it might be 3 minutes and we're ready to take that one off. By the time we finish the second one, 3 minutes after, we would take that one off. When it's a new client or we're switching colors, we want to go 3 minutes, take it off, and test where we're at. We can always reapply that color and process for another 3 minutes or even up to 7 additional minutes. If it's a regular client that you've had quite a few times before, and you always do the same color and they always process the same amount of time, it is okay to not test it at 3 minutes and see how it looks on the brows. We're about 5 minutes in, and you can see how dark they're getting. They're oxidizing, depositing a lot of that color. Now, removal of a lash tint is very simple. It's going to be distilled water and gauze pads. It's very important that you take off the under eye pads first so that we can do a quick swipe with the product, with the distilled water, to remove the lash tint. You don't want to take your time slowly trying to remove because you're potentially moving that product into the eye. It's going to be a really quick swipe. Flip the gauze over so we have a clean portion of gauze to move forward, and then we'll detail